Hi. Uh, I suck at editing and doing all that stuff, so this is just gonna be what it is, and it's not about the lighting and perfect editing anyway. This is about what's been going on. Um, when the COVID first started, um, I lost my job for it because I knew that we had it in our workplace, and kind of long story short, a coworker had a foreign exchange student come from where the virus we think came out of, not Wuhan, the general area or whatever. But shortly after, he took a week off and came back and looked a young. He was a young kid and he looked like death. And um, I've had 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with a cancer that's 1% of all cancers. It's that rare. And I never know until my PET scan every year if it's still gone. And I don't really worry about it. I don't. I've had a lot of tragedy in my life, and you just gotta live. And I don't think about it that much. But I knew this kid that came back to work had the virus. So I asked him if he would please ask the manager if he could go back home. And the whole thing got flip-flopped around, and somehow I got sent out or quit or whatever they said I did. And the store continued on, and I heard from some friends that they were waiting on all of you with no gloves and no masks, and fully knew they had COVID. And I think that's corporate America. You suck, you suck, because this business sells guns. And about 4 weeks when the virus became a pandemic, and the manager also laughed at me and told me like I was an alarmist, and what the hell did I think that this was going to become a pandemic. And within about 6 days it became a pandemic. So I made a video about that, and before I even figured out how to get it online, this whole thing with George Floyd started. And it just, I can't, I don't see in color. I love everybody until they, do something to me. I know that, well, I'm going to tell you in a minute that I didn't truly get it, but I don't sit around people that say the N-word, and I can't say I've never said it, but it's not in my vocabulary. I think all of us have called people white trash or whatever. We're not perfect. We're in America because we get an opinion and we get choices, and we came here for freedom. And I can't believe that anyone cannot see how Trump has taken over in the form of like a dictator. I mean, shooting people's eyes out with rubber bullets because they've had enough. I mean, we've all had enough, but I believe right now this is for Black people to just get their say in their way. And, if they want our support, to walk with them, but we need to just be quiet and we need to let them talk. And I haven't been able to watch for a while because it's just sickening me, because, they were granted freedom a long time ago, and watching this, it's like they don't even really have it. And I'm pissed off because, I just heard Trump say something the other day that he's done more for freedom for Black Americans than Abe Lincoln, and that, I want to punch him in the face. Abe Lincoln would have hated him. Trump has set this country back 40 years. So, in the 70s. I lived in North Carolina, and I was in first or second grade, and I was bused. They were still busing white kids to black schools and black kids to white schools, and it didn't bother me. I was a little kid, and I viewed things as nice and mean, or, friendly or unfriendly, and, I would avoid anybody, white or black or adult or anybody that was hateful and mean. But the distinction, if a little kid is 4 and he's white and he hates black people, you're not born with that. You're taught that. And, I don't like the word shame, but shame on you guys. Like, do not perpetuate this. Do not teach little children how to feel they're superior. Like, none of us are superior to each other. None of us. We're all the same. And, you can definitely act inferior, and you definitely can do things that make all of us feel you're superior. But it is not granted because you come out and your skin is white or black or any color. It's just, it's wrong. It's just so wrong. So I'm so proud of my country, and I honestly believe if I was there, and I'm not trying to portray myself as a hero, but I love my country, and I will just cherish and honor the people that fight for this country. And sometimes it's like you guys don't even realize that probably a huge percentage of people in the armed forces are black, and they're saving your ass. And have a little fucking respect. So anyway, I can't stand by and watch injustice. And people I've worked with will tell you I will get fired because I'm not going to see somebody singled out and picked on for something that they did that is right, that, they did the right thing, and then they're getting in trouble, and I'm going to open my mouth, and I'm going to go stand by them, whether it's at work or whether it's in public. And I really think with everything in me, I would have hurled myself at that fucking man that put his knee on George Floyd's neck for 9 minutes. He killed him for 6, and he did 3. He killed him and added 3 for just the fucking sheer joy of what kind of fucking animal? I mean, I don't even want to compare you to an animal, because animals are great, and you need to die. You really do. And the guy standing by watching, I heard one that was 4 days on the job. I don't know. Maybe he felt he didn't have a right to speak up, but then you shouldn't be a cop, because somebody needed to stop that. And I realized that I know I would have. And I would have took a bullet, because I think that he would have done it for me. And that's what Americans are supposed to do for each other. So I got thinking about it after listening to everybody talking and all these protests and stuff. And you know what? Probably deep-seated, I knew I probably wouldn't have been shot. I get it. I'm getting it even more now, what you're saying. If a black lady hurled herself at him, or a black guy, they probably would have been shot. And I'm just now realizing that my bravery at that moment would probably be because I'm white, and it wouldn't be crossing through my mind. But after listening to you guys, I understand even more that even though I've always thought I got it, and I've tried to always raise my kids to just be good human beings, I probably wouldn't have gotten shot. And more of you, if 1 or 2 or 8 of you tried to help, you would have probably all been killed. And I'm so sorry for that, because
that is not what this country was supposed to be founded on. And this is not why Rosa Parks stood up or wouldn't stand up for the guy on the bus. And, you know, we can't go backwards. Like, we can't. We've struggled so hard to go forward. And, you know, Trump sicking our own military on her own families. Like, what the fuck is the matter with you? Asking states to disenfranchise from the United States of America? Who the fuck do you think you are? You might have been voted in as president, but you were never voted in as a dictator. And we are not a communist country. And if this is the way you think that you are, you know, our great leader, you are so sadly mistaken, and you need to step aside, because you're doing nothing but making a mess, and you're making a mockery of our great country. And I just think that we should all just stand up. And why can't we vote anytime we fucking want when things are so out of control? You know, we've lost our rights, and little bit by bit we've just let all you politicians that get paid for life and term after term when you can't even not fall asleep when you're sitting up there supposed to be doing a job, you know? Who said we can't just have a vote now and get him out of the White House? Like, he just turned off the White House lights. To me, that is such a travesty. Like, our White House is proud. We're proud. Don't you dim the lights on our White House. If you're hiding out downstairs and you want to turn out the lights because you've been so stupid and you're so scared that the White House is going to get stormed by people that can't stand you, then it's time for you to go. It's time for you to go on home. You don't need to be there. You're doing nothing but adding fuel to the fire. And starting to make these statements like, good job, when people are getting their eyes shot out. And, you know, we have every right to do what we're doing. You don't have the right to stop us. We can peaceably assemble, and you can't curfew the fuck out of us until we can't come out of our home. You can't do that. The last thing I want to say is, this just cut me to the bone. Things were getting so bad that I have 2 kids, and my son is 24. And I found myself sending him a text saying, okay, look, things are getting so out of control that I'm afraid that you might become a target, because we've just treated Black people so terribly for so long. You know, I was ashamed. I was ashamed that I was texting him and saying, just kind of watch your back. You know, stop at nice gas stations that are lit up if you're out at night and stuff. And I finally realized that you guys have to do this to your Black sons, like, all the time. Like, you have to tell them all the time, like they're going on to a fucking war zone. That is just, like, I get it. I get so much of it, but I didn't relate it to me and my kids. And I mean, that right there, that's the sticking point. That shows you that other countries have been watching us in shock, because it's like watching, you know, a third world Afghanistan, and I mean, we look like a fucking war zone. And we are. I mean, we kind of are. Because instead of everybody just starting to give them the stage, give them the microphones, and let them tell us what we need to do, and stop suppressing them, and don't shoot fucking tear gas cans and rubber bullets on people that are standing on their porch like we are in a drug cartel in Mexico. That's just insanity, and that's not my country. And if you're gonna do that, then you get out of this country and go to a third world country, because we're not gonna act like that here. We came here because we don't want that. That is not what our military is supposed to be used for. You know, and maybe they feel walking through streets isn't getting anything done. You know, maybe they talk to him, open up airtime. Let's just get this out instead of everybody just amping everything up. And you know what? I don't know how many more people we've killed. This is America, and you guys are shooting. I've seen you shove. I saw one white police officer shove an old man with a cane down on the ground. And if I was there, I would have kicked his fucking ass. And not 1 foot behind him, another cop jogged up and picked him up off the ground. Like, what is going on? Why aren't we all on the same page? You know, this is unacceptable. It's just, it's barbaric, you know? This is 2020. This is the best we got. Trump, this is the best at the end of your 4th year. You want to go out like that? You want to go out with this being your legacy? That half of our cities were ruined, and you're cheering on our own military to beat us down and subdue us and get things back how you want, like the good old boy White Club. You know what? Fuck you. You're not my president. And I so hope everyone goes to vote, because we can get him out of here. We can get him out of here, and we can do better. And I'm so sorry. And I will never forget George Floyd, and I think he needs a day like Martin Luther King, and I think he needs a law named after him. And I wish, like, it's horrible to do violence after violence, but you know what? I really wouldn't care if they put whatever Derek chauvinist fucking pig. I wouldn't care if they tied him up in public and let people just tear him apart, because you know what? That's what he showed George Floyd that day for doing absolutely nothing wrong. He became his judge and his executioner, and it took him 2 seconds when he saw who it was to know. He knew he was gonna do it. He knew it, and that's premeditated, and that's first-degree murder, and he needs to burn in hell. So, I don't know, you know, we all need to wake up, and we need to quit talking about changes, and they need to start now. And now is the time to fix a lot of things. Like, we never need a president like Trump again. Never, ever. We don't stay civilized by going backwards. You know? He's coming so close to getting us in a civil war, or making, you know, turning the South back to how it used to be. And, you know, just, this is gonna stop. And, you know, we always all wonder why we're here. And we're all here for different reasons. And I'm not saying that George was put here to die under some fucking rogue cop's knee. And you know those last 3 minutes, you know, a little kid knows when the life goes out of something. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. And there's just no excuse. There needs to be across the board lines for police behavior and what they can and cannot do. And the people that are there with them making an arrest, they need to have the balls to step in and say, no, this isn't wrong. Not just quietly mention, you know, like, I don't think he's breathing, turn him over, whatever. Like, kick that man in the head and take over. So, I don't know. I'm sure everybody's got ideas, but I'm using my voice. Use your voice. There's been such great statements made from one of the greatest kids I saw. He was maybe 14 on a bike, and he was just a black young kid off the cuff talking to a reporter, and he was one of the best, you know, had some of the best ideas and stuff. So, like, start getting it together, and, you know, we can do this. We're gonna do it now. We have to. There's just no going back. There's just not. So, no, I'm on your side. And if white people need to step back and give you guys your space, you've goddamn sure earned it. And just know that, you know, there are so many white people that do not talk about you behind closed doors. I love you all just as much as I love every other American that's never done anything wrong to me. I don't carry that hatred. So please just really know that's the truth. It's the truth, and it might be hard to believe because all of this just bizarre, horrific, brutal behavior toward you. But we don't all feel that way. In fact, I would guess that 80% of us do not feel that way about you. It's just the bad ones, you know? They're the ones that make it so hard for you guys to believe that the rest of us really do care and we want everything to be equal. So just please remember that. And let's just do this. Like, let's don't stop. Let's don't stop. And you will have all the support behind you you need. I promise you, you will. I know you will. So I'm just sorry this had to happen, and God bless George Floyd's family and his little girl. And I think that she's gonna have such love and support with her all of her life. I think she'll be all right. Everybody just let's try to get along. Let's try to fix America to what it's supposed to be. That's all. I love you guys. Hang in there. Be safe.